Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and here on the channel, I am hosting an ongoing healing process where I post messages here on YouTube and then create an extension of this very reading that is also a healing. So we bring through healing energies, healing messages, healing dynamics. Sometimes there's a bit of homework, but we definitely do energy work over on my Patreon. So there's a dedicated piece of energy work that is kind of like the self-healings here on the channel. And then there are, of course, the healing videos themselves. So that is twice a week over on Patreon. And if you're interested in that, then the information is in the description box. Today, we are going to be doing life messages, so general messages within the theme of expansion. So we started on expansion last week. This is week 2. And the messages are going to be awesome. So I'm super excited because Spirit is talking about, in terms of expansion, we're looking at the notion of breakthrough. And breakthrough from what? Well, your baseline. Where your energetic baseline has been, you're shifting it to a higher level. And it's going to come through this sense of breakthrough, out of stagnation, out of conflict, out of fear, out of devastation. For some of you, out of disaster. I'm getting like a continual sense of disaster, things going wrong, one after another, after another, after another. And that has been your consistent baseline, the way in which things happen, manifest, unfold more often than not. And so Spirit wants to talk to you about that in this reading. We're going to look especially at the baseline and then the notion of where you're stuck. And then we will look through the breakthrough elements in the healing. So even if you don't join me over on Patreon, you should be getting plenty in this reading because this energy is part of your process. We are a soul group. The people watching this, we're part of the same soul group. And so we are going to be working with collective energies in a similar way. So that's why I make these readings and have this healing process. It's to help you along with that. So it's important. Pay attention, Spirit is saying, pay attention to this reading, but also these times, the dynamics in your life, because we are talking about something that has a tremendous amount of effect when we are looking at the shift in baseline. So let's get going. We've got be spontaneous. There you go. That's the breakthrough. That's the breakthrough. And be spontaneous is talking about also how it's just going to happen at some point. You're just going to be in a different energy flow, a different energy matrix is coming in. And a matrix is really informational data, right? So it's like you're going to be creating your reality from a different set of data. With that, we have renewal of peace, beautiful, which also came up in the peace reading. So it's also leaning on work you've done recently in the last couple of weeks, last couple of months. And then we have got ideal course of action. And by that, I mean that peace is the theme that we had just before expansion. So the work previously done is coming back here. So before I get deeper into the message, Spirit wants me to tell you a little story so that you're really going to be able to relate to what I'm going to share. So years ago, I'm not sure quite when, because I've been on this path for a very long time. I am 40 years old and I've been doing work, self-work, as I talk about or think about it, working on myself for the last 2 decades plus, right? So there's been a while. But at some point, after I'd done a whole bunch of work, I remember one day feeling anxious, feeling stressed, sad, like a contraction, and just feeling bad, and then not knowing why. And then I did the work that I was doing, and I shifted the energy. I went into it, consciousness, what's going on, what's astray, realigned, and came back into feeling good, and then just went on my merry way. And then I realized that the reason I'd noticed it is because I'd become more used to being basically happy. I was happier more of the time, most of the time. And so being unhappy started to register, whereas it used to be my normal. I used to be anxious, stressed, in this continual sense of contraction, and probably hadn't been in a baseline of happiness and well-being since I was a child. And so it showed up because of the work that I've been doing. And it's kind of the same message here. We'll start here. Renewal of peace. You've been doing some work, and with all of these animals here, those are your guides, your angels, your ancestors, however you relate to the unconditionally loving energy that guides you. That energy has been watching out for you and working with you to do some work and to shift and to grow and to elevate your energy. And so because of that energy shift, it's now kind of like the full moon. The energy builds, 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 builds. Boom. There's the luminosity. It's a full moon. And you're about to have the same kind of experience where, boom, all of the work that you've just been doing is going to pop off in your life, spontaneously show up, spontaneously happen. Things are going to start happening in a different way. Things are going to start showing up in a different way. Things are going to matter in a different way. And you know, when I said like, boom, it's just going to happen. Now I put in some force, but when I was channeling it, it was like, boom, it just started happening, which sounded underwhelming, but it's not the notion of underwhelming. It's more the notion of subtlety. It's just going to be like that all of a sudden someday. And here, this is you receiving it. It's like a grace from the universe. A lot of the shifts, a lot of the change and the transformation is going to be experienced as a gift that comes to you, as grace from the universe, as favor from the universe. And with that, we've got ideal course of action, which is talking about a strategy and an approach to this. And I think this is what Spirit wants to unpack for this reading, because it's not showing up very clearly. But we have here a big person, and this is a bigger version of you. And we do have here a group of people who are walking together. And I feel like this is Spirit talking about an area in life where you've been kind of conventional about it. You've been going about it in not necessarily conventional, but much more habit patterns, inherited patterns from your family, your ancestry, from society, from your gender, from your religion. There's an area in life where you're going to find, and that's the ideal course of action, you're going to find that the reason why the baseline is lower, the reason why you're stuck, the reason why there is devastation, conflict, and so on, that just keeps manifesting as the same thing, as the same kind of events, the same kind of unfolding, is because you're following along with something that isn't true to you. So there's going to be a breakthrough where you're going to realize what is true to you, what it is that you want, what it is that you need. Which reminds me of next week's theme, still in expansion, but we are going to be talking about beneficial insight, the ability to know what is good for you and to be able to follow it. So to have much more clarity around what's good for you and to be able to follow it. So that's coming up. But here and now, we're going to be in this space of the baseline. So, of course, if Spirit is talking to you about it now, there's the notion of look out for it. Look out, keep an eye out, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Especially because with Be Spontaneous, I'm seeing it like almost, you know, you're in the course of a conversation, and then you go to the bank, for example, to ask for a loan. And then, of course, they always say no. Or you don't have the paper, and a conventional bank would say no. There's no reason why, but you're still there and you're having the meeting. And then during the meeting, you just wake up and go like, oh, wait a minute. This is not the same person that I've been dealing with, that has handled my case before. This is not the same kind of office. You look around and you see on these walls, this person has entrepreneurship written all over. There are all of these posters about helping the underdog, those kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, you are the kind of person that the manager would want to help. The bank manager would want to help. And it's about spontaneously becoming aware of it, and then beneficial insight, knowing what to do with it. So again, we're going to talk about that next week, but more, it's about really, Spirit is saying, it's like the interruption of the karma, the interruption of the cycle, the interruption of the energy, so that you notice that you are in a different realm, in a different space and place. So I drew 2 piles of cards. We're going to start with this one. We got 8 of Cups upside down. Exactly. Attachments. Page of Swords upside down. Ten of Pentacles upside down. I'm laughing because Spirit is just laying it out, laying it out, laying it out. We have the Sun upside down. And I saw this card in the After Tarot. So this is very valuable also information about what is going to come after. And then finally we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a notion here that there are things for you to do, but you need to know what those things are so that you actually do it. There's the notion of doing the right kind of work, which is going to be highly beneficial. For example, with the example of the bank manager, if you prepared for the meeting by looking for conventional reasons why they should support you, then you're not finding the right alignment. But if you prepare for the meeting considering how much of an underdog you are, but the reasons why you're going to succeed no matter what, then you're much more in alignment with the energy that's actually there and the potential, the opportunity that is actually there. And Spirit is even saying the opportunity that I have prepared for you, the opportunity that is coming for you through convergence of lots of different energies, people, places, and things, all being maneuvered through divine means and with divine intelligence. So that being said, recurring message also, we have Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is talking about an emotional entanglement, emotional attachment, to be used to thinking in a certain way, feeling in a certain way rather, to be used to feeling in a certain way that doesn't serve you. Page of Swords for me is often about needing to think about things in a new way, discovering a new kind of consciousness about a situation, a circumstance, about ourselves, right? Needing to start thinking about things in a new way. It really doesn't get more specific than that. However, there's an interconnection here, especially when we have the Cups and the Swords. This is psychology. This is the emotions, the thoughts, both interlinked. This is your psyche. It's working at that level. There's a block at that level. The way in which you are attached is keeping you from thinking in new ways, and because you're not thinking in new ways, you are remaining attached. Because what you're missing that is really going to help you to break through is the Ten of Pentacles energy. There's a form of value, a form of wealth that you are not realizing. So wherever you're stuck, wherever there's conflict, there's devastation, there's loss, there is, again, disaster, wherever that has been the baseline, in that baseline, you're there not because you're being denied, and that's also can be this feeling completely denied over and over again. It's never going to work. I can't win for trying. Right side up, we move away from these kinds of emotions, but upside down, we become entangled in them. And again, we keep thinking the same way. We are unable to start thinking in a new way, because in that situation, you've not been punished needlessly. You've not been embedded in something that is never going to work, something that is doomed, something that is beneath you, something that is out of alignment for you, something that's not good for you, and so on and so forth, right? The list could go on. Whatever you think about the situation and however you feel about it, it has wealth. It has hidden wealth. Ten of Pentacles upside down. And Ten of Pentacles upside down for me is also the notion of authentic wealth. It's something that when you realize it, you're really going to feel like it's something valuable. It's something precious to you. It's something that you're going to want to be and do and keep and arrange for a long time. And I'm just struggling to get these cards straight, because I keep seeing it differently every single time, every single moment. And it's, again, this energy of spontaneity, how things are just going to shift and change. And from one second to the next, it's like 1 minute, you have one sense of reality and value things in one specific way. You define success. Also, Ten of Pentacles, very simply, straightforwardly, success, equally with the Sun. You see it in one very specific way. And then there's this energy shift, the baseline shifts, and you can experience it in a completely different way. Because with the Sun here, and again, upside down, the Sun upside down is a card that is never detrimental. There's never any loss when the Sun shows up. It is the most powerful and therefore the most inherently positive card in the tarot. And I use the word positive in the sense of a filter that shows us what adds love to our life. So positivity is what adds love, light, happiness, joy, all of the expressions of love into our life, and negativity is what takes it away. And when it's coming upside down, Spirit is saying that you're actually applying a negative filter on something that is incredibly blessed, incredibly auspicious, incredibly successful, something that has a spiritual essence to it that means that it can never fail, it can never be diminished, it cannot be even affected by earthly circumstances and conditions. That's what spiritual energy is. That's what the essence is. It's not touched by the ups and downs of the world. You could, for example, have gone bankrupt and think that it is the end of the world and you've been embedded in this situation, but the essence of the situation remains that success is divinely intended and you will be guided to that. So it doesn't matter from a spiritual perspective what has happened or what hasn't happened. The success is still there, and you're the only one who is filtering out and diminishing the notion of success. And so that's the baseline. That's the baseline. But before we go deeper into that, with this Eight of Pentacles, you're working from all of that. What you're working on, what you're creating. The Eight of Pentacles is occupation. In modern terms, we made that work. But occupation is basically what we're occupied with, how we're spending our time, what we're creating. And this is someone crafting moment after moment after moment, experience after experience after experience, skill after skill after skill, but all under the assumption of past energy, of things that are too small for you, but that you just are not breaking out of. It's like you feel like you can't. I'm not going to affirm that. So that's why I'm saying it's like you believe that you can't break out of it. Cups, swords together, belief, psyche, your beliefs. You believe that you can't break out of it. You believe that things are a certain way. You're believing in negativity in a way that is leading your experience astray. It's leading you to, Eight of Pentacles. You're creating more and more and more and more and more of it. It's like a cycle, and that's the baseline. That's the baseline. You're sitting on a gold mine. Which, by the way, it's a very funny visualization. You might want to do it for yourself to really literally imagine you sitting on a pile of earth, like on a mound of earth, and then beneath the surface, there's just gold and there's precious metals and things that are incredibly valuable right beneath the metal. I, for example, didn't say diamonds beneath the metal. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Diamond mining is not something that I associate with wealth. Authentic wealth. What is true wealth for you? So that's what there's in this situation. If I went by the definition of the world and how people go about it and what they pursue, then yes, people get wealthy and they buy diamonds. People sometimes also get married and they buy diamonds. Personally, I would never associate it with that. So if I pursued that road, I would get the diamonds and then not see it as wealth. And that's the filter. You're in a situation where there's a tremendous amount of wealth. There's a tremendous amount of success that is here for you, ripe, that is getting ready to just poof, blow up, come into your reality and just become your new baseline, your new normal. However, you have to be able to, let's see, Nine of Pentacles upside down. You're right there from the 9 to the 10. Come on. We've got the Chariot upside down. So we have 8, 9, and 10. Then we have got the Star. Major Arcana number 17. Again, destiny. You are destined for this. You're destined to have the right kind of wealth. We have the Magician upside down. You're aligning to it. You're creating that alignment. And you're learning to harness spiritual power in order to make this manifest. And then 5 of Cups. Of course, lack. Not scarcity, lack. 5 of Pentacles is scarcity, realized scarcity. 5 of Cups is the sense of lack, the experience of lack, the belief in lack. And it's, again, a belief that you are kind of generating and going by, living by, and also keeping alive. Now, 9 of Pentacles, this is you, my dear. A male, female, neither, this is you. All of them, actually, I think also. Neither, all of them, this is you. And this is the energy that you're in. Now, Nine of Pentacles comes after the Eight of Pentacles. So how you've been spending your time and investing is embodied in the wealth and the value of you, and it's also a return on investment. So when showing up upside down, what Spirit is saying is that there's a return on investment that you're getting, that you're making, that you're living in every single moment that you don't want. It's a negative return on investment, right? It's a return on investment maybe of on being doubtful rather than cautious, of being pushy rather than daring, of being naive rather than optimistic. It's those kinds of things because it's showing up as the Nine of Pentacles. So it's talking about you having tons and tons and tons of reserves. But what is needed is a shift. There's a shift in perspective. And that shift in perspective is coming from these two energies together, which is just absolutely fascinating. I almost cursed. Well, I mean, I wouldn't curse in this energy, but I almost said effing fascinating. So the emphasis is there, and I feel like Spirit is calling on you to find the fascination in it, to find the calling. It's like a calling within your situation to look at it in that perspective. And when you find it, there you go, when you find it, what it is, how you are mislabeling, misknowing, misinterpreting, misbelieving your situation, then it will be fascinating to you. There's like a going down the well, going down the rabbit hole. Oh my God. Also because it's going to touch on a lot of different things in your life. Now, the Chariot upside down, first of all, two major arcana, soul level energy. So these are dynamics that are dictated at a soul level. It's not personal. It's not about you. Five of Cups, feeling small. I have failed. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes because see how it happened last time, see how it was, see what they said, see that, oh my God. And Five of Cups also, there's an Eleanor Roosevelt quote that I adore, which is, let me paraphrase it. Small people think about people. Small minds think about people. They did this, they did that, they said this, they said that. Mediocre minds think about events. This happened, it didn't happen. This can't happen, and so on and so forth. Great minds think about ideals, and there's part of this shift here for you. From a small sense of self where you've been personalizing what's been a shift and creating accordingly, working accordingly. For some of you, this is like very down to earth basic. Like you have a project, for example, you feel like you're lacking in some kind of way, so then you overwork in order to move the process forward, in order to get that loan, in order to get those clients, in order to create something, put out something, right? Again, according to what the experts say, according to what the market is at, according to things that are exterior and really quite irrelevant to you fundamentally. And being in this energy from this space of lack. And that's not how you're intended to succeed. The Chariot upside down. So the Chariot for me is life events that are dictated on our soul path. It's very much a card of the path that we're on, the life path especially. And there are things that we have to reach, things that we have to be, places we have to go, people we have to meet. And those are shown by the Chariot, because we have these two aspects here, and the Chariot goes both ways. So in the darkness, there are some things that we're going to fail at because they're not a part of our life path, and similarly there are things we're going to succeed at because they are part of our life path. So when it shows up upside down, it's highlighting the dark aspect. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be, but it's not meant to be not in the sense of the judgment that the universe isn't going to manifest it. It's not meant to be in the sense of you, the energies of your soul, your path. So basically, the way in which you're thinking about the situation where you're stuck, you're thinking you're being denied, whereas you are doing something else at a soul level. So basically, you've been thinking that you've been traveling to the letter D, for example. So you think that it's A, B, C, D, but actually Spirit is taking you to the letter M. And so to get to M, it's a different journey, and it's not going to be A, B, C, D. It might be A, E, F, back to C, and then you jump to K, and so on and so forth. It's a different journey. It's a different life path. And so you're not recognizing it. There's a destiny at play here. And this is you, the star. And the star fundamentally There's this connotation in an earthly sense that yes, you're going to be a star, but of course the tarot predates that. But at a archetypal level, the star talks about the union with the higher self, and that's the destiny, and that it's also part of almost that the gloriousness of it, right? The greatest success we can ever embody. But you're destined to live at the higher baseline. That's how it's showing up. There's a higher version of you that you're birthing, that you're creating, that you're manifesting, that you're intended to live out. And that higher version of you is the one that is going to manifest, is the one that is going to be the fifth element in the manifestation process that the magician represents. Yes, there is the four elements of earth, right? The earthly, or of the earthly realm, the human realm. There is the swords, the mental, the cups, the emotional. So again, the psychology is part of it, your beliefs are part of it. But then there's also earthly resources and outcomes, results, methods and results. And then there's the wands, there's your intentions and your values, and it's about working all of those different levels together. But the fifth element is the self. It's the spiritual energy and the soul knowing how to channel that spiritual energy into being. So there's the need for alignment of the self so that that spiritual energy can flow into the manifestation. And that's the great success. The great success. I mean, the spiritual essence flowing freely in whatever you're going to realize and manifest. That's the destiny. Which also, by the way, manifests into a success that nothing and no one on this earth is ever going to be able to touch. And that is very, very far away from this smaller sense of self and experience of self, which is only being generated and sustained by how you're relating to how things have happened and unfolded in this last cycle. Only that, because you've done your work. You've been clearing energy. So what needs to go now is for you to pay attention, show up, be aware, so that you can start to experience it differently. You can start to experience it as it is. So we've got surrender, resentments, yeah. And we've got surrender, unhealthy relationships. And for some of you, this is very literal, right? Depending on where this has been unfolding for you. And then there's a more general interpretation that I will share. So, first we have surrender, resentments. It's like, the umbrella blew away. I lost my umbrella. That was my favorite umbrella. It's beautiful, but I lost that umbrella and I need it. And if I don't have that umbrella, I'm out here and I could get rained on and I could get sick. And then when I get sick, I'm going to miss out work. When I miss out work, I'm going to get fired and then I'll be homeless and so on and so forth, right? But the sky is dry. It's not raining. Sure, there are clouds. They're white clouds. It's not raining. You're fine. And so at a spiritual level, that is the truth. And if you can surrender the resentments over why things happen, then you can snuggle up to that truth, get really close and personal with that truth, and you can embody it and live it out much more simply. And you can, of course, recognize it in people, places, things, situations as they start converging and as your baseline shifts and the manifestations shift along with it. You haven't been losing out. It wasn't a loss. Not in the slightest. Not even a little bit. It is what it is. And it's even, you could consider it a blessing. Surrender unhealthy relationships. So again, how you experience things is a relationship. Everything is relationship. We relate to everything. We relate to thoughts, ideas. We relate to our emotions. We relate to, of course, other people, to events, to the sky, right? The weather. We relate to everything. We relate to our experience. And so, Spirit is saying that there is an unhealthy way of relating here. And I want to read the text. It says, let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. And I feel like all of that applies to you. Again, for some of you, this is a direct message. You're feeling it in your body. It's resonating in your heart. You know that it's for you. So take it at that level also. But at a more general level, this is Spirit saying that this relationship to your reality, to what's been going on in your life, doesn't serve you. because the things that you are mourning, the things that you feel you have lost out on, that you had taken away from you, they are unavailable for a reason, because they would have been toxic to you. It would have been even just less than what you deserve. There are higher reasons at play, and you deserve those higher outcomes. So be that positive person for yourself. Bring that positive perspective of seeing how you are receiving love, light. Bring the focus over and over and over again. As many times as it takes. Redirect yourself, redirect your energy. Do not wallow. Don't stay in this energy. Don't stay in this attachment, because what's going to happen is that the baseline is shifting. Again, the work is done. All you're going to do is cause yourself to be out of alignment with everything that's coming. So you're just going to minimize opportunities, and you're going to minimize blessings more than anything else. So my love, that was the reading. And takeaway is movement meditation. I celebrate and honor my physical body through dance and movement. Exactly. Celebrate and honor yourself as you move through it. It's coming. It's coming. Move through it. Dance with it. It is here. So my love, that was the reading. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, bringing your energy. And if you would like to follow for the healing portion of this, it is over on my Patreon. Link is in the description box and at the end of this video. Sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, and I will be seeing you around. May you be blessed always and in all ways, and so it is. Bye.